Hello everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere episode, 337. And we're moving into a new book, the 3060 book. And today we're going to be talking about that 15-ton VTOL, the Mantis Light Attack VTOL. Alright, so the Mantis is 15 tons. It is a 1117, so it's fairly fast. Can't get past the 4 threshold, but yeah, when you're VTOL, yeah, you still get a 5 mod. And if you're flying around there, it kind of out there at a distance, your odds of staying alive are pretty good, unless you're playing against clans with pulse weapons and 1-2 pilots, and you're probably going to get knocked out of the sky with nothing flat. But the Mantis has 10 single heat sinks because it has a fusion reactor on board, which isn't bad. It has 2.5 tons of armor. It's like 40 points. Basically enough to take a little bit of damage as it gets in close. It has, for weapons, it has a 5 ER small lasers for 2.5 tons. It has a Beagle probe and Guardian ECM. All right, so this is a Scout VTOL. I keep saying mech, thinking I've got mechs on the brain. I've been painting a lot of mechs lately. So the Mantis definitely is like, hey, you got to get in real close if you want to use any of your weapon systems. Which, you know, is those ER small lasers. Yeah, those are short range. I think I personally probably would have rather dumped 1 or 2 of those ER smalls in favor of an ER medium laser, and then keep the ER smalls or something as, you know, your backup. At least have something that shoots out a little bit of distance to 12 to at least have some type of damage output that isn't right in your face. You know, it's like a lot of times you want to stay out of distance and have something that kind of reaches out without having to park yourself right on top of somebody, that allows them to, you know, get a better firing solution at you. Yeah, so there's that. Now, the primary use I would always see with the with this is running around the sides and the backfield with your ECM, cutting off anybody's C3 networks, Artemis, that kind of thing. And then you have the Beagle probe as you're looking for hidden targets or maybe hidden around the board someplace, and you're gonna say, hey, they're over here, I see them, there they are, you guys shoot them, I'm moving on to the next thing. Now that's pretty much the job of the Mantis, not to get stuck in at all. If you get this thing stuck in, it's going to get stuck in the ground. That's kind of how I look at that. So keep it out of kind of a distance and use its capability. That's the Mantis way. All right. Now, there is another version of this, which is kind of interesting, which even goes even more towards, hey, I'm pure scout, and that's the job, I'm going to take it. Now, the other version is the ECCM version. All right. Now, this one strips all the stuff off of it. All right. So that's not bad, considering this comes in at 304 battle value. The original version is 434, mostly because it has a few weapons on board, those 5 ER small lasers. So that kind of ups the price of it a little bit. Now, the ECCM, I'll say that 10 times fast, uses different technology. So, like I said, it strips everything off of it, puts a XL fusion engine on board. All right, so you've got a little more tonnage available. And what it does, it increases the armor. All right, so it could hang out a little bit longer without getting knocked out of the sky. Unless somebody hits it with an LBX cannon or something, and then it's like, yeah, swat it out of the sky by taking the rotors out. That's a lot of times what happens. The equipment on board, it has Guardian ECM. It has a C3 slave on board and a mast mount. Now, if you never heard of a mast mount, which is kind of interesting, It's similar to was it the Kiowa that we have with the U.S. forces. It has a little bulb on top, so it can hover just above treetop, just slightly below treetop, and the mast allows you to use targeting acquisition equipment. Basically the same thing. So you can use your C3 slave for help targeting stuff up close by hiding behind buildings and hills and trees and stuff like that. Instead of having to pop up above them to have a line of sight, it can hover down one level below, so it's hidden, but its mast is above the object that it's hiding behind, which allows it to use the C3 to help you target with. All right, so very handy. So you can get up there real close, stay alive, and then just hover there, and everybody else behind you is like, oh, we're going to use your range, and start blasting targets that are farther away but closer due to targeting using the C3 system. That's kind of nice. I do like that option with this second version. Yeah, and it's cheaper too. So if you want something that, if you're running a C3 network, you might consider throwing a couple Mantis into the works. It's not going to break the bank when it comes to battle value if you're playing with battle value. And I think it's kind of an option, especially if you're playing in games where it can fly forward, get under cover, and just sit there and hover. And like, I don't have to move. You can't see me. So there you go. Have fun. And then if somebody decides to come up and kind of root you out of your nest, then you can just fly away. Because, you got a 17 movement possibility. So that can get you out of the area pretty quickly. And with your movement modifier with that, you can make a few turns and still get your 10 plus 1, get your 5 mod. And getting out to medium to long range against targets, then it's like, oh, okay, we're going to shoot something that's definitely a lot easier to hit. Because if somebody has a chance, like, oh, I need a 12 to hit the little Mantis, or I need a 7 to hit this mech over here, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to leave you alone, because typically you're pretty harmless. So they're going to go after the target that can hamper and hurt them. So there you go. All right, so that is the Mantis. Not a bad little VTOL to start off the 3060 book. Kind of useful. So if you don't have one, kind of mock one up or something and give it a shot and see how you like it. So that is the Mantis. It's a short video, but hey, kind of an interesting little VTOL to be used. All right, hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Elkrix out.